Buddy, how is everyone doing? Grab some coffee or tea or water and hang out with me. This is going to be amazing. So, handling the storms of life with Moxie. So, with determination, with nerve, with chutzpah. How do we do that? Because the storms of life are never ending. And so, it's what I want to share with you is how we can handle that storm with grace and with ease and even some appreciation. So if you are around, jump on and join me and I will get started. So for me, just as a personal example, I had an interview scheduled this morning at 7 a.m. to do a part of a radio show with a person that lives in England. So of course, 7 a.m. our time is about 3 or 4 o'clock in England. And I was hoping to get a good night's sleep while my dog was having some stomach issues, so I was awake every 2 hours last night. And then, of course, once I was awake, I had a hard time falling back asleep because I was thinking about the interview and what I was going to say. So I still woke up at 5 a.m. and did some yoga, some meditation, got myself in the right mental state to do the interview. So this is just one example, right, of a storm. And it's not a very big storm that, you have a big presentation or event and you can't sleep the night before. It might happen to many of you, I would imagine. But the key here is, what do you do? How do you ensure that you still show up as the best version of you, even if you hadn't slept a wink the night before, or things didn't go as planned, or even if you fumbled over some of the questions in the interview or in your presentation? How do you handle that? So what I have found, honestly, is often it's the story we're creating that makes the storm worse than it actually is. And so a couple of tools that I have used, one of them being Byron Katie's 4 questions. And so asking yourself first, before we get to Byron Katie's work, is what are you afraid of? So, often when we can't sleep at night is, I'm afraid my presentation won't go well. I'm afraid I'll forget what to say. I'm afraid I'll look like a fool. I'm afraid I'll let people down, whatever it is. And so then taking that fear and asking yourself, is that true? Is it true you'll let people down? Is it true you'll look like a fool? And you might say, well, it's definitely possible. It's definitely an option. And then the second question is, can you absolutely know for sure it's true? No. And often when people fumble over words or interviews don't go as well, it helps people see you're a human. Because often it's not as easy to connect with someone that we see as perfect and poised and never make a mistake. It's often easier to connect with someone that we see as like ourselves. Then the third question is, how do you react or how do you feel when you have that thought in your head, or you're attaching to that belief that you'll make a mess out of it, you'll look like a fool, you'll never figure it out, whatever the lie is that you're believing? How do you react or feel in that situation, in that belief? And this is the most important. This is so critical to really let it just fill your entire body so that you can feel physically, tangibly, palpably the impact of that belief. And often you'll feel like a tightening in your chest and maybe in your jaw and maybe your stomach, or like a little bit uneasiness in your stomach. And so it's helping you understand your thoughts have a very real impact, not only on how you interact with others, but on your physical body. And so when we can start to understand that and see, okay, I actually can change that, which is the follow-up question, which is, who would you be without that thought? Who would you be without that belief? So if you no longer were buying into the self-doubt, into the self-deprecation and self-sabotage, who would you be without that? Who would you be if that wasn't true? If you knew you were supported in bringing your gifts to the world and sharing your gifts with the world and creating the life that you desire and being the person that you desire. So then again, connect with where you feel that in your body, and compare and contrast the difference between what your body feels like when you're believing the lie that you've created and how your body feels when you're in the truth. and notice the difference. Often when we're really in our truth that you are important and you matter and your work here is important and your work matters and you're inherently worthy, you feel expansion in your chest. You feel a lightness and just possibilities, creativity. There's so much more available when we're operating from a place of truth. So, thinking about what are some of the storms happening in your life, and again, often they do happen when you're stepping up and reaching out and doing things that are out of your comfort zone. And so again, it's connecting with what is actually true. Hi, Shannon. So nice to see you. Instead of letting yourself spiral into negativity and overanalysis, self-doubt, all of those things that actually prevent us from taking action. And action is actually one of the key critical components of getting through the storm. Because what happens often in the storm is we can just spiral and just go down even further down the negative train, down into negative town. Hi, Tracy. Yay, so nice to see you. And when we take action, we're getting out of that paralysis by analysis. We're taking action. It doesn't matter what the action is. It doesn't have to be the right action. It's just getting out of your head and into your body and moving so that the storm starts to just dissipate instead of feeding the storm more energy. Cool. So I'm super excited to announce that I'm offering a new way to work with me, which is perfect for this type of thing. So something comes up and you're preparing for an event or for a presentation, and there's just this, feels like this sort of disaster or storm brewing, and you want to be able to reach out and just jump on a call and get some support, some clarity, get back on track so you're continuing to move forward instead of letting yourself spiral and analyze and beat yourself up and not actually take the actions necessary to move forward. So I put a link in the title above. So it's Elevate Business Membership, which allows you access to me. So it's like having like a live-in business expert because I live in the professional and personal development world so that you don't have to. So you can call on me when you're just wanting that extra boost of clarity, support, accountability, working through a difficult issue or wanting to go over a presentation, whatever it might be. And that's the thing I love about it. It's you get to set the agenda and you get to set the schedule. So when you need it, I'm here for you. You get to reach out, we get to work through it, and you get to get moving on. Which this is something I wish I would have had in those periods of time where I was just kind of feeling fatigued from investing in program after program and didn't want to be in another long-term commitment. I just wanted the flexibility of having the support when I needed it and knowing if I didn't need it, I didn't have to reach out for it. And that was something that I really craved, and now that's something that I'm offering. So I'm actually offering exactly what I wish I would have had, something that I felt was missing in my experience working with different coaches. So if you're interested, reach out, and of course, check out the link. And if you are in and this is calling to you, we can get started as soon as tomorrow. And the other thing is there is a special discount that will be expiring as soon as next week or as soon as all the spots are filled. So make sure if this is speaking to you that you grab it, because honestly, this is a game changer. This is something that's really going to make a huge difference in your business and keeping you on the right path and keeping you in the right energy and emotional and energetic state to keep moving forward no matter what storms are brewing in your life. Cool. Do you have any questions? Don't see any. All right, my friends. Thank you all so much for being here. And if you're interested in learning more about my Elevate Business program, would love to talk to you about it, or just would love to start working with you as soon as tomorrow if that's something that's speaking to you and you're ready and you're in. Let's do it. All right. Talk to you soon.